Um, Thank you very much for that introduction. Thank you, pastors, for inviting me. I stand here before you not because of my victory, but I want to say something that I'm so glad I have my parents, Mr. and Mrs. P.M. Easaw, who are now in heaven, right? My mother was a prayer warrior, commando in general. My father was a very quiet man, but quietly he does things, right? I grew up in a very strong Christian home with 3 other sisters. My mother's motto was, I don't care what happens, you worship God, you get up at 5:30, you sit here, you know, and then I can't have dinner or lunch, anything without prayers, right? Even if I'm sick, I have to go to the church, and the church was in Malacca. I was born and brought up in a strong Matoma family. And then after we got married, she told us a few things. First, remember something, God is in control, not you. In-laws are in-laws, treat them like in-laws. Okay? Number 2, don't give up your job. At that time, I didn't understand. My daddy told me, let whatever people say what they want, you do what is right in God's eyes. So today, my success story is because the Lord made me a dietitian. I actually went on my knees to ask God, I don't want to be I want to be in the medical field, but I don't want to be a doctor. Because I couldn't remember 300 over bones. And when a patient comes in emergency, which bone to think of, or which head to think of, I'm sorry. I don't have that kind of intellectual, but I had very good EQ, emotional methods of managing people. So today I stand here to become a legacy in dietetics, not only in Malaysia, but over the world, is because the Lord Jesus chose this job for me, right? So now I'm going to talk to you. Can I have the slides, please? Right. So I'm going to just talk to you about some of the things that over the 40, I'm 65 now, so over the 45 years of managing people, from the kings of the country, prime ministers, to the paddy farmers and rubber tappers. Right? It was a joy. And every time I look at the patient, I don't become judgmental. Can I have my slides, please? Yeah. So today I'm going to talk about mindful eating. I gave you a little journal just now, you know, and I just asked you to write what you ate yesterday. You know what somebody says, oh my God, I can't remember. So these are things that we have because you can't remember. So when you cannot remember, tell me, how can you progress, right? Eating, okay, let me see, you remember your bank account, right? Is it, right? But the problem is, what you did yesterday, how you spoke yesterday, what you ate yesterday, you don't seem to remember. So there are selective remembering and non-selective remembering, right? And that's how my patients come to the clinic, they talk to me. I have 3 categories of patients here. Is there something wrong with the slides? Okay, right. While I'm waiting for the slides, because I need a flow, I just tell you there are 3 categories of people here in Malaysia. The Malay, the Chinese, the Indian, okay? This is, don't think anything, this is my observation. Malay patients are very kind. When they come to the clinic, whatever you say, ye puan, boleh puan, cuba puan, these are very good words. Malay patients do not like conflict. So whatever you tell them, they agree with you. But the moment they leave your clinic, they will say, bye-bye puan. They will not follow. Now, for Chinese patients, when they come into the clinic, theirs is return of investment. So what they do is, okay, you ask me to do all these things, will my cholesterol come down? I no need to buy medicine. See, ROI. Okay, so this is how you work with them. Now, Indian, being an Indian, they're very argumentative. They come and fight with you. I know this, my brother is this, my blood sugars are good. I say, hello, calm down. You know, we are not here to fight whether your blood sugar is good or bad, but it's already bad. But that's the problem with the people, the culture, right? So today let's go to the next slides. I'm going to look at mindful eating. Now, not only in mindful eating, but we also do mindful thinking when we do things like this. Number 2, how to start off mindful eating. Okay? And let's look at balance, moderation and variety, the healthy plate, and some take-off message. And I'm going to link it with the Bible because this is, everybody tells me, oh, this is not biblical. Yes, it is. Eating healthy is biblical, right? Next. So the introduction to mindful eating is scientific, evidence-based. So it actually involves paying closer attention to the food, how you feel. Okay? So now if I talk to you about fruits, there should be some feeling, right? Or no feeling. That means you don't eat fruits, lah. Huh? But if I talk about biryani, you see, that's a change. So this is what we call how it makes you feel. Okay? Number 2. You must distinguish between physical and emotional hunger. Physical is real. Our body system takes about 4 hours for digestion. So you had a breakfast at 8 o'clock, by 12:30 you'll feel a bit squeaky, right? By 1 o'clock, tak boleh tahan lah, I have to eat. This is physical, right? And then about 4 o'clock you might have a snack because your dinner might be at 8 or depending what it is. Physical, you need it. You need the petrol. That's like how your car is. Right? But emotional, no. You got angry? Makan. I used to have problems with the secretaries that I worked with. When they get angry, they open the drawer, eat a chocolate. That's emotional eating, right? We all have emotional eating. Don't think we are fasting. Sometimes you get angry. Well, when I was a younger Christian, I get angry, I do all this thing. Now I'm a matured Christian, I look at them and I said, okay, let's deal this differently. Okay? One of my chefs were telling me the other day, ma'am, I only know how to cook, I don't know how to talk. We had an issue. So I said, okay, let's develop your talking using your tongue. He said, what are you trying to tell me? Because you don't know how to talk. Those days means I'll whack, but now I'm very calm and say, then they look at me one kind, I also look at them one kind, because the generation today is very different. Right? So we need to deal with them. So this is how you do. And then you have eating behaviors. I had this behavior after my main meals, I must have a cube of chocolate. Because my mom had that behavior. I was thinking, where does this behavior come from? My mom will give us a sweet after a meal. It's like a reward. It's a small sweet, but now the sweets are bigger, right? So you need to look at binge eating. And the other one is, okay, how do you manage better your eating habits? So this is mindful. I'm always aware of what I'm doing in eating. Next. Okay. So the biblical aspect of mindful eating, food and faith surprisingly overlaps in this. You can see the Last Supper. Okay. It was a meal. It was enjoyed, right? And then food-related verses gives guidance and nutrition, which I'll show you, and deeper truths about stewardship and moderation. I'll give you some of the verses, but I can't go through all. Beyond addressing spiritual hunger, several passages offer wisdom for carrying out physical body through wise eating. It is there, right? And finally, our choices about our nourishment is what we manage, because God has made our body the temple. Okay? So when I minister to non-Christians, I always ask them, you do puja? Yes. You bathe gods in lots of milk and ghee? Yeah. So what happened to your body? Huh? So I always ask God to give me that thing when I'm speaking to, so what happened to your body? Oh, you never thought about it? Oh yeah. So create awareness. Next. So, what influences your food choices? So many things, right? The way I was brought up. People who are big size and obese, all my family fat. That's why I'm also fat. Finish. Story is over. So these people want to escape, so they don't want to say anything anymore. Or like that, my mother was like that, my father was like this, And the Indian patient said, hey, hello, we are Indians, we have eaten rice for generations. I said, yeah, that's why you're looking like generations. I have a lot of upheaval with patients, So food preferences, some like it hot, some like it cold, some like it in the pot, 9 days old, right? So food preferences are something you have to say, oh, I don't like this. Oh my God, how do you eat this? You know, kind of preferences. Then culture. What is your culture? How are you brought up? Vegetarian, vegan, halal. All these are culture that we need to handle. Knowledge and belief. How your parents brought you up. Eat rice. Your rubber tappers. You need the energy. The beliefs. Right? I'm just giving you a few examples because of time. And then practical consideration. Do I have the money? When you look at urban poor and the rural poor, they only eat fish or chicken over the weekend. Okay? The rest are all like touch and go food, you know. So you can look at the communities across, you can find that it's a touch and go. Their protein only comes only once a week. Right? So the money, the food cost, convenience. Convenience food is very, very good among urban. Just buy. From where? 7-Eleven. Buy, just buy, heat, pop. What you eat? Nobody knows. Okay? And there is a lot of deterioration in family meals. I used to enjoy meals with my parents. Right? Now to get my daughter to enjoy meal, cannot because she's away from me. So you have to sit alone and eat now. So these are changing practices, sir. Okay, next. So, yeah, next please. Okay. So we live in a very stressful world. Just keep clicking, yeah. Thank you. Okay. Where everything moves fast and we barely have time to eat. And food is, of course, one of the concerns when we meet up. Let's have coffee, let's have tea, correct? And food. And so eventually we enjoy fellowship in eating. Friends talk, laugh, let's go to this cafe, let's do Grab. Eventually it centers around this. Even family gathering. Many years ago when I attended a funeral, there was no food, but today there is food. Which I was actually saying, why are you serving food at the funeral? Yeah? So things have changed. Next. Okay? Right. And the main challenges is for women. I took the slides here because we are all women, right? Our parents, maybe they were at home, they had time for us, right? But today women have taken multi roles, you know, becoming different roles, okay? Next. And the trend has changed, the work trend has changed. Paddy farmers, rubber tappers, factory workers, now we are all very different. We hardly walk, we hardly do anything, you know, and we sit in aircon offices, we don't sweat, we don't perspire, nothing like that. Next. Next. So these are the 10 top stresses for women. Americans are very good at this. You want to find any research, go to America. It's lots of research because they do a lot of research. So what are these stress for us? For women, not for men yet. Okay. Number one, when you have a sick family member, you see most of the time, daughters take care, wives take care, correct? Right? Then financial matters, it matters, right? Personal health, children, spouse, issues, right? Work matters, in-laws, outlaws, whatever you call them, right? And then intimate relationships that has broken, that means something has happened with your relationship. Daily living, I have to get up in the morning, I have to do this, you know, it just goes on. And personal safety, terrorism, national disaster, political issues, discrimination. These kind of things have led people to either go overboard by eating or even suicidal because they can't handle things. And one of the best examples is COVID, you know, when everything was shut down. Post-COVID, I saw a different type of F&B staff, dietitians, all changed. They became very different, they became very calculative, they are frightened, they don't want to do more, they are demanding, things have changed. So you're dealing with a very difficult, and eating has also become a problem now. Because during the time they did not have means of meals, yeah? So next. So you have a questionnaire on mindful eating, not your journal, the other questionnaire. The second one. Not your journal, this one. Yeah. Oh, you haven't given them? Okay, okay. Now this one, you take your time, okay? You just take your time. It's a Malaysian-based questionnaire on mindful eating. So the first question is, you have to answer like a Likert scale, which means number 1, never, okay? Number 2, sometimes. Number 3, often. And number 4, usually. So the first question is, I give you an example so that you go back and do it, okay? I eat so quickly that I don't taste what I am eating. If you say, are you there? If you say never, that means very good lah. But you say always, I do something about it lah. That means you're eating so quickly until there's a short circuit between the brain and the stomach. Do you get what I mean? Is this clear? Let's go to question number 2. When I eat all you can eat buffet, I tend to overeat. Often? Then you got a problem. You understand? The questions will correlate how you answer positively or negatively. Okay? This one you can't do now. You take some time, go. But you cannot do a PhD paper to answer this question. Okay? As soon as it comes to you, I usually, I eat so quickly that I don't taste what I'm eating. Yeah lah, this is me. That means correct lah. You don't need to say, sometimes I do. No. There's no time for this. Pop, it comes into your head. You get what I mean? So go back and do this, so it's easier. Okay, next one. Okay, so think about if you are eating, first, either are you hungry physically or you're emotionally hungry. Okay? My daughter tells me that, Ma, of all the fridges in the world, yours is the worst. No snacks, no ice creams, no chocolates, no carbonated drink, nothing. Because I stay alone. So when I stay alone, sometimes a bit, go and open the fridge. So I need to do a corrective action. So I cut everything. So I think there's water, fruits, yogurt. So what a boring fridge. But it is a healthy fridge. So you have to do corrective action. Number 2, appreciate the time and energy and resources that went into your meals. I mean, just don't eat it for the sake of eating. Hey, wow, not easy, man, to make this stuff. Very nice, Wow, this is what, garlic, wow. Start appreciating things. Not just say, bantai lah, over lah, finish. Right? Next. Okay? So, emotional eating versus, physical eating, very important. Next, eat slowly. Chew. That is why I like the fork and spoon. Right? The hand, very careful, soon we can eat so much. And the chopsticks, right? So you really need to be very careful how you dump the food into your mouth. By the way, your mouth is very small. It doesn't grow bigger. Your stomach will expand, but your mouth won't. Do you get what I mean? Right? So therefore, you got to be careful what you put in your mouth. My friend used to, eat choppy. I said, hey, you're going to get choked. I have to remember how to save you from choking. So you need to cut the food into smaller pieces, even with the hand, especially the banana leaf is so dangerous. Somebody was telling me, those Chinese people, they come to eat banana leaf, they eat with fork and spoon. I said, thank God they eat with fork and spoon. Because we Indians will just wall up it and, have you seen how they really eat? Well, I did my 4-year study in India and I can see how they eat banana leaf, okay? So, and then you take time to enjoy your meals. So when I used to work in IJN, it is such a busy hospital, within 10 minutes I'll finish my meal, But now, no. I put a timer and I redid the corrective action and I eat 20 minutes now. And I feel so good. I don't put on weight. I enjoy life. You need to do corrective action and change begins with you, not with me. When you want to do something. Next. Okay? And enjoy your meals when you feel satisfied, not stuffed. Hey, never mind, I'll finish off this. Especially Chinese dinner, 10 course. Don't waste, eat. No, you all eat. Have you seen this? I look at them and say, keep quiet, okay? We are already full, right? Chinese dinner, please don't eat the first course very fast. Because you got some more 8 courses coming. Right? And the Chinese dinner is very, very high in calories. And then Chinese people, they don't like to waste food. So eat lah, and then you actually didn't go for a wedding, you went for a stuff party. Okay, right, next. So I need to talk about intuitive eating versus mindful eating. Okay, you can click the next one, okay. So when you talk about intuitive eating, it's using your body's internal clue, like I'm hungry, full, emotion, to help you to make your food choices. It doesn't come, I'm on a diet. It doesn't come. Okay? It never comes, I'm on a diet, I can't take this. That's not intuitive eating. And it accepts all food. So yeah, I can have a little bit of ice cream, I can have a little bit of pakute. That's not going to happen. It's that kind of mentality. However, mindful eating, you become aware. Hey, I've been eating too much lah. Past 1 week, durian party, finish. So that's mindful. You're mindful of things. Then both styles can help you when you struggle. It depends on where you want to use it. So intuitive eating, it's no diet. They don't go on this diet basis, anti-diet philosophy. And it reduces that yo-yo diet. There is no yo-yo. They will eat on time, and mental well-being and body image. And it actually lowers the risk of cardiovascular or diabetes risk. However, mindful eating, aware, I need to eat this slowly because I have digestion issues, so you're mindful, right? And then you have mental well-being that brings into practice. I'm well, I can eat well, right? I used to work in all cardiology hospitals, IJN, CVSK, and when I was asked to manage Picasso, which is oncology, my whole life changed, because when I see the patient, they look at me and they're telling me, what are you talking? I don't have hope. Whereas in cardiology, I have hope. I go for angiogram, angioplasty, I'm well. So this whole perspective of eating changed after I took over the third hospital, to say, okay, now how do I manage these eating habits after chemo, after things? So they'll tell me. So a good example is, I see a patient and I say, how have you been today? Have you eaten well? This is the answer I get. What's so good about it? Yesterday was my birthday. Today I'm in the cancer hospital. How do you answer? So I said, first time, I couldn't answer. Then I said that, ma'am, is it okay if I wish you birthday, happy birthday? Yes. Is it okay if I give you a cake? Sweet, ma'am. I don't eat sweet. Nothing will happen. You sure? I'm sure. I gave her a cake. After she left, she told me, I love you. I love you too. So it's very different the way you manage. So you need to change. Next. Okay, so the biblical aspect of mindful eating is in 1 Corinthians 10:31. It says, okay, so whether you eat or you drink or do whatever you do, please do it for the glory of God. And so Paul's word reminds us that our dietary choice is also in everyday action, right? And also conscious planning and mindful eating. Next. So in the nutrition world, there are 3 food that gives you calories and proteins and fats. So you have carbohydrate, protein, fats and oil. The only issue is fats have double the amount of calorie. So for example, if you're taking 10-gram bread, which is 40 calorie, and you put a 10-gram cheese, which is 40 calorie. However, if you put a 10-gram butter, it's 90. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the fat is significantly higher. Next, right? Next. So carbohydrates, everybody thinks it's rice, mihun, kway teow, hello. There's more to it. Okay? So we have starchy vegetable. So Indians will say, I'm vegetarian. Why my diabetes very high? Because rice la, dal la, potato paratal la is all in this category. Oh, like this like this la. So legumes and then fruits, milk, they take a lot of yogurt and this kind of thing. And then sugary stuff. So even the Malay patients say, Tadalah, saya tak makan banyak, I only take rice. What about that kueh all? Oh, that all you count. So creating awareness is important. So this is carbohydrates. Next, protein. So there are 2 types of protein now. In the sense you have animal based and plant based, right? So you have to look at visible fats, remove skin. Some people just eat the skin and don't eat the meat, right? So there are weird eating habits, okay? And then you need to tell them, okay, throw away all the entrails, right? And educate them. Next. So you also have nuts and seeds. Just click one more time. Then they tell me how much to eat. That's all, your handful. So the men are quite happy because their hand is quite big. Whereas women's hand, we're quite petite. So it's a smaller amount. Okay, next. You can actually have a handful a day. There's nothing wrong with it. Next. Now, there are 3 categories of fat. I'll just go quickly. One is PUFA, polyunsaturated. Okay, the next one, MUFA, monounsaturated. Maybe one later I'll give you this, but these are so-called the good fats. However, they cannot be drunk. You can't drink them. Oh, this is good, you drink. Excuse me, we drink water, we don't drink oil. Okay? So what happens to this category? They are so-called the police of the oil, which means not all police are police, but they are still have to be used in the category, and you cannot overindulge. Next one. Next. This is the gangster. Okay? They are saturated fat. They are found everywhere, by the way. Now when I'm talking about, I'm not talking about palm olein. Palm oil is just the extract of it, but palm olein is very different. The type of fat in palm olein is where you get all your chap, the normal one, they are all mixed to bring down the saturation of the fat. Okay? Now all palm oil can be used for deep fat frying. You do not use corn oil, or you do not use sunflower oil. All this police oil you cannot use for deep fat frying. Okay? It's not allowed. For toasting, for stir frying, yes. For salad, yes. But if you want to deep fry, which is okay, it's not a sin, then you have to use Malaysian palm oil. It's more stable. And after 3 times when you have fried the oil, every time you fry something, strain the oil. After the 3rd, throw. Don't keep it because it becomes carcinogenic after some time. Too much of frying, too much of ingredients, okay? Next. And this one, can you just okay. These are the mafias. You'll find them all over the world. Bakery shops, cafes, little warungs. These guys, originally they started well. They were very good oils. But in the process of hydrogenation, they became evil. Make sense? Yeah? So you have to, your croissants and your bakeries, you better be careful what you're eating. Actually, I don't eat all these oils, excuse me. That's why you have to do a food journal, so you can find out what you're doing. Next. Right? So it's all about balance and moderation. Okay, it's very easy to say, Yala, you can say easy, you're a dietitian. But the funny part is when you teach people, they look at me one kind and they say like this. I say, this is how your life is going to be now. Change is very difficult in Asian group. You know, when I was attached to UK, I got a shock when I saw the patient, and I liked what the patient said. You're Asian, are you Indian? And I'm very good at drama, by the way. I was in the dramatic society. Yeah. And then he said that, I said, yes. So tell me, I take this, they can tell me, I take 2 slices of bread, and that could be about 150, maybe 200 calories. I said, huh? They can tell me. Whereas Malaysian patient, when I ask them, I don't know maybe sometimes I eat sometimes this is how they answer me. And I'm trying to get a diet history. Hello, tell me So when I was in UK, I was not stressed because the patients knew what they ate. But in all the hospitals that I worked in Malaysia, I was highly stressed because they don't remember. But they remember the fights they had, the arguments they had. They were not very good. They remember their stock market, very good. But they don't remember what they ate. And I am here struggling with diabetes or with renal failure to help them out. So this is Malaysian Healthy Guidelines. Next. And we have a pyramid. So I'm not going to the pyramid because the pyramid is very difficult to visualize. It's just a category. Next. I'm going to the plate. The plate is very easy. You take a plate. And the plate is 8 inches, not 12 inches in diameter. So what you do is suku, separuh. What is suku, separuh? Okay, which is quarter? Correct. Rice and your protein. The rice is carbs, right? So protein. And the sparrow is your vegetable and fruit. But in Malaysia, it's the other way around. The sparrow is the rice, right? So for Malaysians to adapt back to suku sparrow, they cry. And clinical psychologists said to change a behavior takes about at least 12 weeks. So they have to practice and practice. And all my patients, I told my patient, oh, that means you tell me I can eat anything. Yeah, but it has to be in your suku sparrow. And they did it. They lost weight. They started walking. They say, hey, Mary, it works. I said, of course it works. What do you mean I'm talking to you guys? So it is a change of behavior and making them happy within what they want. Huh? Right, next. So even the Bible tells you in 1 Corinthians 6, 19 to 20 and Proverbs 25 to 3, you have to eat in moderation. You have to honor your body. Just because honey is good, you don't overtake honey and drink it like, or sap it down. So these are very important things that even the Bible tells us, and when we interpret it, is not in indulgence. Next. Okay. So we do swap. This is how I teach my patients. We do a swap. Okay. So for example, you cannot, Mary, I love my curry mee. I said, okay, I'll let you eat your curry mee. There's a condition to this. What? You cannot finish off the gravy. Ayyo. Then how? I said, then you take soup lah. Soup means I can finish. Soup means you can finish. So making them a choice. These are all very difficult decisions in life, as though they are going to become the next millionaire. That's how they make the decision on this, right? Swap. Like you pasambo. Swap with Roja. But they say, I like pasambo. I said, okay, you can make choice, but the gravy must be separated out. So you don't pour the gravy like, banjir. Okay, so you need to teach them. Next. Moderation, swap again. Okay lah, if they want nasi lemak, okay, let's have, sometimes they have grilled chicken. You can opt for grilled chicken, smaller portion. Roti canai with tosai. Then they say, yeah, tosai and roti canai very different. Of course it's different lah, right? But we need to. And then you remove skin, right? And tandoori chicken is a better option. Next. Okay, next. These are drinks. Teh tarik, how to swap. So we asked them to use a bit of evaporated milk instead of condensed milk, right? To help them out. Next. This is what I'm talking about, balance. So some of the patients, I make them buy this plate, because they go beyond the boundaries. So they told me, ini apa? Cakap ini boundary mana? Thailand ke, Singapore ke, mana boundary? Oh yeah. I said, Singapore you go in, you are very strict, you're very careful. Thailand, yeah. Then they'll give you a laugh. So I make them buy this, and then they will do suku sparrow. Yeah. It's a bit, next. Right? And I also teach plant-based. That means you can have a little bit of chicken, but more vegetable. Okay? For example, you make dalcha. They want the bones, like mutton. So I give them a small amount just for flavoring, but the rest is all vegetables and dal. So you can actually do this. Next. Now the problem is liquid calories. You go out there, you can see all types of tea that you have never dreamt on or you have never drunk, right? In my days, it was tea, coffee. And of course, those days they had chocolate drinks like Milo or Horlicks. That's all I remember. But today when I go there, my daughter buys, I said, hello, what is all this? Mama, no need to look at the label, please. I want to drink this, right? So this is something is basic, but there's a lot of things when those drinks are made, whatever the drinks are, they all have additives, they all have coloring. Okay, so you need to be very conscious. Next. And sodium. There's a lot of salt in Malaysian food, and the highest consumers of salt are Chinese, because all their recipes is with sauces. No sauce, no cooking, in Chinese cooking. It's very difficult, So the second group of people who consume a lot of salt is the Malay community, because of their dried fish, ikan bilis, things like that. And lastly is the Indians, they all pickle and papadums and that kind of stuff. Okay, so these are hidden. So when you're cooking mihun, then you be very careful how to put. You put a sauce, but you don't put any more salt or anything. You enrich it with lots of vegetables. Next, right? And plant-based meals. Why we're talking about plant-based meals? We're not asking you to give up your non-veg, because of sustainability. We need to sustain the earth, right? Next. So you look at Psalm 104:14. Even there, God said what sustainable farming practice to recognize, to keep the planet for the future. So these are really what, when we dig into the Bible, it's very true. So I'm very happy I'm a dietitian because it correlates with what the Bible tells me. Next, right? So different plant people. Okay, some of them are vegan. The vegans are very strict. They're very strict. They don't take anything with milk, with gelatin, blah, 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 very strict. Okay. Then you have the next group is lacto. Okay. Lacto, they take milk. Then you have lacto-ovo, they take egg. Right? Then you have this these two people, sometimes they will take fish, or sometimes they will take animal products, but they have the days that they follow. So when you want to become a bit more plant-based, you take days. So for example, Fridays, I become vegetarian. Now Tuesdays, I'm vegetarian. Okay? I go slowly because not that I have anything against it. I am aging gracefully. My system is also aging gracefully. You cannot eat like those days. Okay, next. So the Bible tells, what does it tell? Two things, Genesis 1:29 and Daniel. See, Daniel's diet was mostly vegetarian diet. Yeah, Daniel's diet is now practiced also as a diet. And then you can see that, nourishment. And all, if you look at biblical stories, it's bread, grains, olive oils, things like that. Yes, they of course had meat much later, but early biblical stories are all on grains and plants. Okay, next. Okay, one more please. Has it come? Okay. And the other thing is, the Bible also tells you to be aware of people who are eating other than what you can eat. Okay, for example, halal food. Yeah, it's common in Malaysia. I was the only halal trainer when I went to be trained. The gentleman asked me, "Hey, you bukan Islam?" I said, "Tak apalah, saya duduk lah." Okay. And he was very shocked. And I learned the whole halal concept because I also know in our books, they also tell you what to do. So the book in Romans 14:21 says, hey, hello, be considerate about other people's food habits, right? We need to honor people like halal food, vegan, vegetarian, kosher, all this is people's food we need to honor. And I think one more thing we need to know is we need not worry about what we are eating because God has provided for us. It's how sensible and how wise we are when we are eating. Next. Okay. Weight, easy come, hard to go. One moment on the lips, next moment on the hips, right? Next. So many people like fat diet. Fat diet means really fat lah. It doesn't sustain. So let's go to the next one. Number one, some foods will be missing, groups. They will say, cannot take this, cannot take that. Number two, nutritionally they are inadequate. They will give you short-term changes. Yes. And then they also maintain maintenance issue. I want to eat normally and I want to be a human being. After you go on a fat diet, you do very well. After 3 months, back to normal. Sustainability, right? And then determined to the chronic disease. Sometimes you have to be very careful. You overload with protein, your kidneys will pack up. You need to be very careful what you are doing. And then inconsistent scientific evidence. The only scientific evidence that we have about diets is the Mediterranean diet and the DASH diet, dietary approaches to stop hypertension, which is mostly a plant-based diet with small amount of fish or whatever it is. And then rapid weight loss. You know what will happen when you want to lose weight? Any idea? Okay. Which is, carbohydrate is the one that gives you the energy, right? Now you decided, okay, I'm supposed to take a 50% carbohydrate. I very clever lah. Say, okay, no need, I take 20%. So you deprive your body of petrol. Unlike the car, it will stop. Correct, no petrol. But this body is clever. God made it in that way. You know what he'll say? Okay, no carbs. Hello, where's the fat? So your fat will break down. That's why you lose weight. It's correct. But it's not the correct way of losing weight. It becomes ketone. And ketones are fats that are not adequately broken down. And you can go into coma, right? But the moment you don't know that, the protein breakdown, people say, hey, why you look so thin now? What happened to your face? That means you're in trouble. Because, number 3, protein has come in to help you. And they are all the wrong helpers. You get what I mean? So this is something you need to think. You need petrol, you need protein, you need fat. Your organs are protected by fat. You deprive it, your heart, everything will get into trouble. So please don't get so gung-ho about things. Okay? And so what do the Bible says? In Proverbs 12:11, they said, you don't chase fantasies that have no sense. You know, that's what it says. So this is there's a lot of debates, the scientific debates and all that. But you know, King Solomon also praised the relationship between sensible eating and diligent labor. You cultivate. Why those people, they eat well. Those days they never grow fat because they also labor. Where we labor? What are we doing? Excuse me? Got labor. You go to your apps and put pacer. You just do normal walking and tell me how many steps you walk. And believe me, you will not walk even more than 2,000 steps. You know? So next. So this is the healthy plate. I've already told you, suku sparrow. Next. We have to show, you see, patients, sometimes they say, suku sparrow macam mana? Now we have to use the hands. God gave us the hands. So this is 1 serving, okay, of rice. So if you have 2 serving, it's 2. Depends on your calorie intake. Now next, this is your meat, right? It's the palm. Your fish is the palm, okay? Next, if you want fat and oil, okay, small amounts, which is actually a teaspoon, right? Next. This one is your vegetable. It's 1 handful, okay? Next, right? So you need 5 servings of fruits and vegetables. That's all you eat. All vegetable cook half cup only, right? So if I have if I have lady's finger for lunch, and I can have cooked cabbage and long beans for dinner, I have an apple and I have a banana. Kautim, story over. Did I speak in Greek? The way you looked at me, right? Most of you are not consuming this, that's why you're looking at me like that, right? So think of this, half cup cook, 1 serving of either vegetables or fruits. Next. Okay. High fiber. Okay, the fiber is your vacuum and broom of your body. Okay, it will clean. Okay, and I cultivated this habit. Every time in the morning I get up, first thing I need to say my prayers and straight go to the toilet, and I will sit. And my friend said, "You mad?" I said, "Yes, I'm mad." Once I cleanse myself out, believe me, it's a world of difference. Do this practice, and you will see a real difference. Then I drink 1 glass of water. Not 5 liters of water, it's madness. Okay? Right. Then, fiber cleans, fiber washes. That is why when you see people with their skin and the way it's a world of difference because they eat a lots of fiber, vegetables, you know, fruits. Next. And so these are, remember just now I told you, how much is it? So these are some tips that you can have. Vegetables this much, you know. And one day my patient telling me, you asked me to eat this much vegetable, you think I'm a cow? That's how they talk. Nowadays patients talk differently. Those days very polite. Doctor is God, dietitian is goddess. Now poda, can't be bothered. Hey, I got the internet. You tell me. Well, that's how they talk, you know. So I was thinking, my God, what happened? All became like gangsters already now. You know, talking to us, fighting with us, you know. So we have to change. So this is what I teach lah. And then I said, no, I didn't ask you to become a cow. Just be a goat for a while. I'm also a bit naughty lah. Okay, next. Right? So sofas are food with high calories. We call it sofas lah. Okay, hit please. Next. So it's actually what it is. Solid fats. Okay, never mind. Solid fats and added sugar. That's what's called sofa. Okay, next. 20 years ago, that's how the burger looked. Look at it now. So you have to change your perspective. Eat better, spend less. That single tier burger is cheaper than that Petronas Tower, right? Next. In 1993, that's how the bagel looked. You know, we all go have this bagel. But look at the bagel now. In 2018, extra by 29% increase. And calories, 52. But labor, 0. Okay, next. Lasagna, those days, lasagna was 400 calorie, which is a lunch with some salad and all that. But today it's 621. And you top up. Next. Save money on nasi lemak, okay? Now these are different nasi lemak that I took from the internet where they are advertising. 1990 versus $12 versus 10. 1990 is for 2 people, by the way. It's not for 1 person. So you share lah. Every time now I share. I love my food, I share. Okay? So think of this, save money and save calories. Next. This is I went for a conference and I was a speaker. Then they served me this. I said, excuse me, what is this? This is your snack, ma'am. I said, what? What is this? So it's a distortion of people, how they know what is snacks. Okay, next. So mindless eating. The first one shows more carbohydrate, 950, and the second one shows the same thing, but we have changed. And we have more vitamins, but you know, they are so much, sorry, it's 350 calories. Okay, next. You spot the difference? Idolatry and eating is how you say, yo, this one worth the money lah. Idolatry on the food. Yo, this one can lah, this one very good, you know. Then you start eating and then later you feel guilty lah. Okay, next. Next. Can see the difference? Okay. Okay, next. So 2000 calorie is across the board for Malaysian young people, not for you. We all come to 1005, okay, as we age. So somebody asked me, hey, 2000, how does it look? This one, 1 plate, 3 plates of nasi lemak. Huh? Are you Mary? I ate already 2 plates. Now the story is over, right? Then how many thosai? 17 pieces. Why? Thosai is less. I'm showing you 200 calories, what looks in a food. You know, it's just an implication. Next. Roti canai, 6 pieces lah. Makes up to 2000. Curry puff, 16 pieces. Just to give you an idea. So if you had eaten 4 curry puff, afterwards I think you got tea lah. That's why I'm talking before tea. Right? Next. Then you need to give your body a tsunami. A daily tsunami. Okay, sometimes you can have juices. Next. Right? Then after that you do your urine test. No need to go to the lab all. You go to your toilet bowl and piss. Okay, now I'll show you what happens. Next. Look at the color. If your color is royal color, excuse me, not enough water. So it should be clear, pale yellow, accepted. But the rest all is very bad. Tea color means something is really wrong. There is some problem with your kidney or something, you have to see a doctor. Okay, next. Right? And body shape. Okay, let's not be very worried about how God made us in shapes. We are all different shapes. But my conscience is, what was the shape 20 years ago? Have you thought about it? And what is your shape now? You know, when I see my young dietitians, they only weigh 50, 60, 50, 55 kilo. And I used to weigh like that. After I had my daughter, my patients say, wow, sudah gemuk. See, patients also give back. It took me quite a number of years to come back. But now I'm 65, I don't want to go back to my 55 because I will look haggard. Right? So I need a little bit of all this to keep me looking well. So there is, because I'm a dietitian, I calculate and I know how to do it. So there is a phase that you go through, okay? So whether you are apple shaped or pear shaped, sorry, God made you that way, but we need to handle it. Next. So these are the 3 types of body that we have. Ectomorphic, meso and endo. So those of you who are small frame, you have long arms and normally you're quite not chesty, then what you have to do, click please. Click. Next, yeah. Your workout should be short and intense. You don't have to go for 50 kilometers walk or no need, because your body frame is very different. Now, if you're the second type, meso, this one you have to work harder. You have to burn the calories and fat. So you need to do walking, you need to do brisk walking, maybe, you know, a bit more hard weight. The last one, okay, This one, you have to follow an exercise program, which you can talk to your physiotherapist or your physio, anybody, to actually go slowly and remove. So there are different exercises. If you're doing the wrong exercises for the type of your body, you will never see the difference. Okay, next. And this is what has happened to all of us now. All of you are sitting right. So can I ask you to stand up now? Hey, it took some time for you to stand up. You see, it took some time for you to stand up. And the younger one took a longer time. This is what happens when you sit. You've been sitting now 45 minutes, and when you want to stand up, you're going to have problem. And this is what happens, the dangers of prolonged sitting, not only to your back, but also to your head and to all your organs. So remember, when you are sitting, you cannot sit for more than half an hour. You have to get up and walk around. Okay, now please sit down. Now please stand. You see, different, huh? Because you had just, yes, now the knowledge has come in. Before that, no. Sit down, please. Next. This is the biggest problem with students now. I teach in a university, and all my students are going like this, or like this. I said, gosh, what happened? It's the phone and the computer. So you remember, when you look at your phone, can I just have your phone, please? You don't mind? Yeah. Please don't look like this, huh? Right? So the phone should be like this. Now, if you're sitting on the table, you put against something and look like this. Don't do this, because eventually your head thrushes out and this body goes in and you will have backache problems. So it's very important. Students are my most concern. Next. Right? So eating is a pleasure and must be enjoyed mindfully. Let's look at your food record. I just want you to look at your food record. All I want is this. Whether you have fruits, whether you had vegetable, whether you had rice, mihun, I don't care, either any meat. If you have all that, okay, you're on the right. But if you skip meals, you miss one of these things, you're not on the right track. That's all. Easier to say this way. You go back and you see, got vegetable, got. Hey, no fruit, then you know. So that's how you do your food journal. I mean, if you come to a dietitian, the story is different, but this is for home. Next. So I give you this take-home message in 1 Timothy 4. For everything created by God is good, and nothing is to be rejected if it is received with gratitude. So the food that the food that you eat can either be the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. You decide whether you want it as a poison or whether you want it as a powerful oxidant. Right, that's okay. Right, it's over. Right, next. I know it was a thank you, but I just want to let you know, okay? There's nothing you cannot do. And if you want to do and you can't do, you ask God to help you. Because that's how I changed my whole life. And my life with God is very simple. Sorry, God, I want to ask you something. Correct what I'm doing. I manage a daughter who is 24 years old as a single mom. It was a tsunami. After the tsunami, now it's calm seas. But I have to be ready for the next tornado. So life is not easy, right? When I retired, they asked me to teach. I'm not a teacher. She's my best friend. She's a teacher. I'm not a teacher. And I don't like academic work because but you know, God told me, go there. I said, but I don't want to go here. I only teach and come back. But I cannot teach and come back. I got academic work. But in the 4 years, one lecturer became a Christian. 2 lecturers believed in Christ but didn't conceived. 3 lecturers asked me to pray over them, and they got other universities to become associate profs. You know what they told me? I thank God that God sent you to us. Because Mary, I don't know what God you are praying to. Very powerful. And today they tell me, thank you for your ministry. And then I looked at God. That's why you sent me there? Yes. When my bosses told me take over Picasso. I said, oncology. I've never done oncology. This is my first time. But what happened? It changed. Okay, I'll tell you what it changed. I went to see this patient. I said, how's your lunch? He said, the lunch okay. I won't tell you something. You have to be ready here. I've got very good children. They look after me very well. But I'm unhappy with my pastor. Sorry to say this. I said, oh, pastor, you're Christian. My pastor said, I got cancer because I sinned. I said, oh, no, sorry. You got cancer, maybe not because of that. So, what, you want to pray over me? He's challenging me. I said, okay, I'll pray. You Christian? I say, yes. So I told God, I told the Holy Spirit, come now, I don't know what you do. Do something for this guy. After I prayed everything, he looked at me. Very good, you pray, I feel good. So I walked out and I said, is this my ministry? Yes, this is your ministry. At 65, all the prophets were called at that age. I told God, I perspire when I go into the Picasso. What is going to happen today? I prayed over people. I prayed over all of them. And they said, wow, very good. Your father pastor? I said, no. So the ministry is where God calls you. And today I'm very thankful to God I'm a dietitian. Somebody asked me this funny question in a corporate. If we give you 5 million, what would you want to become? Dietitian. And I thank God for this ministry, and I thank God for the knowledge He has given me. And thank you for listening.